Between all of our companies over the last 10 years, we have generated over 100,000 leads, booked over 50,000 sales calls, conducted over 30,000 sales calls live where we're pitching our product, and closed over 10,000 customers and clients. And there are some keys to having a winning sales presentation that a lot of people just completely overthink. And I am sick of individuals like yourself probably watching this, because I did the exact same thing when I was starting out 10 years ago, making these big mistakes. And I'm going to be going over 3 of the biggest mistakes that you can make in a sales call, specifically when you're generating appointments and taking live consults. That is really going to, if you solve these 3 problems, going to transform your business and the way that you conduct sales calls. Because again, I have seen it all. We have made so many crucial mistakes. And as much as offer is great and prospecting is great, if you can't convert those appointments to paying customers, and if you can't get people actually on board and buying your offer, then what's the point? So the first thing that I want to talk about during a sales call is please show somebody something. People are going to trust what they see. They want to see what you have to offer. And if you can get somebody to visualize what they're actually buying, they're going to trust and they're going to buy from you so much more than you just getting on a call and thinking that you can slick talk your way through a sales call and then ask for $5, $10, $15, $50,000 at the end of that call. And trust me, I made this mistake so many times. I will never forget when I went into a chiropractic office with a blank piece of paper thinking that, I'm just going to draw on this piece of paper and, that's magically going to make this chiropractor want to work with me, or taking just phone calls and sales calls where you're just saying, oh, this is exactly what I do, and trying to explain my services or my product to those individuals. So the biggest thing that we obviously do inside of our companies that we've done over the last 6 years now, since we've really figured out the formula, and that we teach everybody that we conduct any kind of mentoring, consulting, education with, is teaching them how to build out sales pages. And one of the best tools that you can use for this are things like Lovable, things like Gamma, where you can build out a very simple structure of a sales page. Sales pitch is really what this looks like. And it's so much faster than going into Canva, going into PowerPoint, Google Slides, where you have to step by step, build out each slide. Using AI is going to get you there so much faster. And what's even crazier is, you're like, Jake, I don't have anything to show anybody. Okay, that's awesome. Go to ChatGPT, go to Gemini. Even all of these different platforms like Lovable have AI built in, where you can have it make you images that look like screenshots of the services that you would be providing for these customers. And that is going to be something where you can start to put a deck together, a sales document together, that's actually going to show people exactly what they're buying. Because again, if somebody can go through your presentation and visually see, okay, this is exactly how my offer works and how it's going to work for me as the customer going through, people are going to buy that much more. So again, step number 1 is please start showing people something on sales calls. You should never get on a sales call without anything to show somebody. Again, I have burned so many thousands of dollars thinking that I can just get on a sales call and talk my way through. Number 2 is pitching crazy prices. And I know that this does have to play a role into offer as much as it does into the actual sales call. But so many people are trying to pitch the biggest package that they have. And that is the biggest mistake. If you talk to anybody experienced, they know that they've talked to people that, are big fishes, they're big whale clients. And then you put this crazy offer together and it's $100,000 a month offer of this whale of a client that you're like, oh, this is going to change our business, and nothing ever happens. Okay, I've done that. I've been there. I've talked to, again, a different chiropractor, but same agency, where we had stumbled across an owner that had 8 different locations, and we put together a contract that was about $30,000 a month. And guess what happened to that deal? It never happened. Again, the reason it was so big. So when you're putting pricing together, it needs to make sense. Now, I'm not saying don't charge what you're worth. That is absolutely not what I'm saying. But if you have a $2,000 product, a $5,000, and a $10,000 product, show that person all those different options, because some people are going to want to get in bed with you, even though they're qualified for that $10,000 product. They're going to want to test drive the car before they commit to a $10,000 product. And especially if you're running ads and you don't have the best VSL or the best pre-sale method in the world for those sales calls, you're gonna need a little stepping stone for that person to be able to get in the door, pay you a little bit of money, prove your worth, and then simply ascend them into that $10,000 product. I promise you, it's easier to get more money from a happy customer than it is to try to get that max amount of money from somebody up front when you have never worked with them. And then lastly, for sales, my third strategy that again is one of the biggest mistakes that we have made. So number one, we need to be showing somebody. Number two is we need to have multiple different pricing options that actually make sense, that are not ridiculously big priced offers. And number three is going to be having and conducting a doctor-like sales call. And what I mean by that is it's very consultative. You should be able to talk about your product. So many people get into sales calls and they're like, what's your dreams? What's your goals? What would another 10 customers for your med spa, Mr. Med Spa owner, do for you? They are sick and tired of hearing that. You need to be asking legitimately educated questions. And even when you think about, asking those questions, you can use those to build authority, because if I'm asking questions that are making me look like, oh, wow, he's actually asking about what EDC I use, or, whatever the little lingo is in that industry. If I'm asking questions based off that, it shows, number one, that I'm educated, that I know about the market, but then I'm also asking questions that I can then go back, and when I start to pitch my product, I can relate back to my offer and show them that, hey, my offer is solving those problems that we talked about in the beginning. So ask questions that are very consultative, but again, that are also actually solving a problem. And those questions should be uncovering the pain that you're going to then present the solution to. It's just like a doctor. If I go into a doctor's office, they are going to first ask me, what symptoms am I having? What's been going on? How long has this been going on for? How has this impacted my day-to-day life? And then I can simply prescribe a solution as the expert. But if I went into the doctor and they were asking me a whole lot of questions that didn't relate to my symptoms, it wouldn't make sense. So if you go out there and you implement these three tactics into your sales calls, again, showing somebody something, having pricing that is easy to digest and easy for people to sign up with. And then number three is treating a sales call like an organic consultative conversation, not some kind of wordplay or high ticket sales thing that you saw from some guru out there, but actually being an expert, actually having a conversation and caring about individuals. You are going to get that much farther, and you are going to sell that many more products. So go out there, implement these three strategies into your sales. And if you're like, Jake, that all sounds great, but how do I execute on all of those three things? We do have Setterlun University. We have over 4,700 individuals inside. And for $17 a month, you are going to get access to those frameworks, the scripts, the done for you AI agents, in addition to everything else that we have inside of there that can help you actually execute on those three tips. So go out there, execute, and I will see you in the next video.